So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today we're going to be talking about the real history of May 1st, the real Labor Day. It's a complicated discussion, but I wanted to go over it a little bit and first talk about it. Labor Day has longer history as a working man's holiday. There was some strikes in Australia for a little while, and those were happening on May 1st. But I would say that the biggest contributor to May 1st as a working holiday was the Haymarket Affair or Haymarket Riot, which happened in Chicago. So, the long short of it is that the McCormick Reaper work, which I believe eventually turned into John Deere long way later, and the McCormick Reaper work on May 1st, they were having strikes. Uh, it culminated in the police shooting multiple people. I believe two people died, but the newspapers were often, just like they are today, they were lying about how many people died. But ultimately, quite a few people died, and so the working men of Chicago were bent on protesting. And on May 4th, they got together in the Haymarket in Chicago and were giving speeches. There were a lot of long speeches that were going on quite a while. It started to rain, and so really the mayor who visited the speeches, who was sort of making sure that everything was safe, he left because he was content with the crowd. He was content with their situation, and he left. Well, during it, the police in Chicago seemed to think that the rioters were about to cause some problems, and so they began confronting them. And at some point, a bomb was thrown and hit and killed several of the police officers, and shots started ringing out. A lot of people were dead, and it was really sort of a seminal moment in American labor history. From that, mostly the people who were speaking, there were very few people who were actively shooting, who were arrested, but the people who were speaking were arrested and eventually put to death. Some of them killed themselves. For example, one put a bomb inside their mouth, which is just a horrific. They laid in their jail cell and got a bomb snuck in, and then they killed themselves. To commemorate this, the second international met some years later and decided that May 1st would be Labor Day. And throughout the world, May 1st is Labor Day for most countries, right? So when that was voted upon, many countries took that to heart, and that has become sort of the symbol for labor throughout the world. Uh, the the problem or the this did not happen in the United States. So in the United States, um, this got quickly wrapped up, which it was part of part of the communist, I don't know, theory or communist allure. Um, the Second International was very much a communist meeting that decided this. And as a result, as part of anti-communism, the American government responded and actually made it Law Day. There was several, and also a Loyalty Day, and there were several responses to it where it was trying to stamp out this heritage, whereas the rest of the world had continued. Of course, there was in the United States, it was moved to September, and there was some history surrounding September the as Labor Day. So a machinist, Matthew McGuire, was the first one to propose Labor Day in September. And that was as a result of history, and there was a little bit of history surrounding that. Whereas the rest of the world again moved to May Day, the 1st of May, as Labor Day. And ever since then, the United States has had pretty significant protests, not nearly the same as the rest of the world, but for example, on May 1st of 2012, Occupy Wall Street started holding protests. May 1st of 2017, there were a lot of immigrant rights activists and labor unions that fought that were highlighting the prominence of illegal immigration against Donald Trump. In addition, in May 1st, 2020, there was a lot of strikes because of the failure to protect employees during COVID. And so there is a lot of May 1st activity, but it's nothing like the rest of the world. I once saw graffiti in Berlin that said in German something like May 1st, cars burn and pigs die. So we don't have quite the same. We don't have quite in the United States. We don't have quite the same response, but it is very much historically speaking, May 1st as the kind of focal point of the calendar for the labor unions. If you like more history on labor unions and human resources as a whole, please subscribe, like what you see, and comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Should we go to May 1st as the official Labor Day? Share, and leave a comment down below. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.